Have you ever found yourself standing at the edge of a cliff, staring into the unknown, wondering what comes next? We've all experienced that moment, caught between where we have been and where we are headed, with no clear path ahead. Life's uncertainty can weigh heavily on the heart, yet amid all these questions, there is one unwavering truth. Pope Leo XIV assures us that God already knows what lies ahead for you. Life does not come with a detailed roadmap. We often find ourselves moving through seasons when the future is unclear, when we cannot foresee what awaits just beyond the horizon. This uncertainty can feel unsettling, even paralyzing. We spend countless hours trying to predict what's coming, to plan every detail, to control our destiny. But today I want to remind you of something powerful. You don't have to know everything. It's perfectly all right to lack all the answers. It's okay to step boldly into the unknown while still trusting that God is watching over you. We expend so much energy worrying about the future that we overlook a crucial fact. God is not surprised by your uncertainty. He is never caught off guard by life's twists and turns. The unknown need not be a place of fear when we realize that God knows exactly what is next for us. It is precisely in those uncertain moments that He reveals His strength, wisdom, and perfect timing. Reflect on your own life. How many times has God guided you through circumstances you couldn't understand then, only for you to later realize that it was exactly what you needed? When you face the unknown, remember that God sees beyond it, and the best thing you can do is trust that He is already preparing the way ahead. Here's a truth for you: the unknown is not your adversary. Too often we regard uncertainty as something to fear, a barrier to peace, joy, and success. But what if I told you that the very thing we dread, the uncertainty, is where God's glory shines brightest? We are naturally wired to crave certainty. We want to know what's next, to be in control, to have a plan laid out clearly before us. But God does not operate that way. He doesn't need you to have all the answers. He only asks that you trust Him when you don't. It is in uncertainty that we grow. When we don't know what lies ahead, our faith is stretched and refined. The moment we surrender control and embrace the unknown is the moment we invite God to work in ways beyond our imagination. God specializes in the unknown. He does not require us to see the entire picture, just to take the next step in faith, even when the path is unseen. Consider the story of Abraham. God commanded him to leave everything familiar, his family, his home, his security, and journey to a land unknown. Imagine the uncertainty in Abraham's heart. Yet he obeyed, not because he knew the road ahead, but because he trusted the one leading him. God did not disappoint. The unknown became the gateway to His promises. So today, do not fear uncertainty, embrace it. In the space of not knowing, God is ready to reveal Himself to you in ways that will transform your life. Step into the unknown with confidence, knowing that the one who holds your future is never lost. Perhaps you sit here feeling life is a puzzle with too many missing pieces. You cannot see the whole picture, and it frustrates you not knowing how everything fits. But hear this: God has a plan for you, greater than anything you could ever devise. It's easy to get caught up in life's noise, the deadlines, the pressures, the expectations. We start believing that if we don't have everything figured out now, we've missed our chance. Yet trusting God's plan means resting in the assurance that He has already mapped out your future, even when it's hidden from your view. God's plan does not depend on your understanding. It requires your obedience. We desire to know every detail, but God calls us to take the next step in faith, even when the road ahead is unclear. Think about Joseph's story. Betrayed, imprisoned, and heartbroken, Joseph endured a difficult journey. Yet in every stage, God was weaving a plan Joseph could not see. Only when the moment was right could Joseph look back and understand that every hardship had purpose, every struggle had meaning. So today, know this: your life is not a random sequence of events. God has already penned your story and is guiding you at every turn. Trust that even when things seem senseless, His plan is unfolding and leading you toward greater things than you can imagine. How often have you asked, why is this happening now? Why am I still waiting? We struggle with God's timing because it rarely aligns with our own. We want answers immediately, progress today. But God operates on His own timetable. And here's a vital reminder: God's timing is always perfect. Though it may confuse us, His timing is never late. We are often impatient, rushing through life, eager for the next breakthrough. But God's timing is intentional, deliberate, and precise. Every delay, every pause, every season of waiting has a purpose. What seems like a setback may be God's way of preparing you for something far beyond your imagination. Consider David. When God anointed him king, he didn't ascend the throne right away. Instead, he spent years running, hiding, battling, and learning to trust God like never before. His waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. God was shaping his character, strengthening his faith, and building the resilience needed to lead a nation. If you're waiting today for a breakthrough, an open door, or a change, remember this: God's delay is not denial. It's a sign that He is working behind the scenes, preparing you for what's next. You are exactly where you need to be. When the time is right, He will open doors that no one can close. Trust His perfect timing. God is never late, He is always right on time. How many times do we pray for something specific, confident we know what we need, whether a job, relationship, financial stability, or healing? We voice our request, hoping God will answer exactly as we wish. But what if God's answer is not yet? The truth is, God knows your needs better than you do. He sees beyond your vision, understanding what you require in ways you cannot grasp. Often we believe we know what is best, but God in His infinite wisdom provides exactly what we need, precisely when we need it. Jesus tells us that if we as humans know how to give good gifts to our children, how much more will our Heavenly Father give us what is truly necessary? But note this: God gives what we need, not always what we want. It's easy to chase after desires that seem fulfilling but may not serve our growth or future. Look at the Apostle Paul, who asked God to remove the thorn in the flesh that caused him great pain. God did not take it away. Instead, He told Paul, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." 2 Corinthians 12:9. What Paul saw as a need was not the most vital thing. What he truly needed was to experience God's strength through his weakness. When it feels like God isn't answering your prayers as you expected, remember that He knows your needs perfectly. Sometimes what's withheld is not a denial but divine protection. Trust that God views your needs through an eternal lens and will provide in perfect alignment with your purpose. You will receive exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. In seasons of uncertainty, it's easy to feel stuck, as though nothing is changing. You might wonder why your breakthrough hasn't come, why your prayers seem unanswered, or why progress is slower than you hoped. But here is the truth: God is preparing you for blessings beyond your imagination. What looks like waiting is divine preparation. God never wastes a season. Every moment of waiting, every challenge, every setback is part of His plan to ready you for what lies ahead. You might not see it now, but each step you take is making space for the blessings God has planned for you. Remember the Israelites wandering in the desert for 40 years, not because God had forgotten them, but because He was preparing them to enter the promised land. That desert experience, though difficult, were essential for them to deepen their faith, to learn to rely on God, and to be prepared to receive the blessings ahead. The promised land awaited them, but they had to be ready. Your blessings might be just around the corner, yet God will only unveil them when you are ready to steward them wisely. God does not simply grant blessings, He prepares you for them. Sometimes this means strengthening your character, teaching patience, or refining your heart before opening the door to your next chapter. The unseen blessings are being formed as you journey through uncertainty, so do not despair during the waiting. God is at work in ways beyond your perception, shaping your future even when you cannot sense it. When the time is right, He will pour out blessings that surpass all your expectations. Keep trusting and keep growing, for your preparation is paving the way for the breakthrough coming to you. There is a profound power in choosing faith over fear. Fear aims to immobilize you, to cause you to doubt your future, question your purpose, and second-guess every choice. It tries to convince you that the unknown is too perilous, that you are not equipped for what lies ahead. But faith does more than acknowledge the unknown. It steps boldly into it, confident that God is already there. Let's be honest, fear is natural. It's human to fear what we cannot see or control. But here's the truth. Fear, it tells you you're not enough, that you won't succeed, that the challenge is too great. Faith reminds you that God is sufficient, that He has already gone before you, and that you can accomplish all things through Christ who strengthens you. Recall Peter walking on water. He stepped out into a stormy sea, an impossible situation. His faith kept him afloat, but once fear took hold, he began to sink. Faith sustains you, but fear threatens to overwhelm you. You don't need to know every step ahead to move forward. What you need is faith, trusting God's presence even in the unknown. Fear may whisper you're unprepared, but faith declares that through God you are more than enough. Let faith propel you beyond the fear of the unknown. Today, choose faith over fear. Step boldly into the unknown, knowing God is already preparing the path ahead. Don't let fear dictate your steps. Let faith lead you to the breakthrough waiting for you. There will be times when you feel uncertain about your direction, when circumstances cloud your vision, and you wonder if you're on the right path or if you've missed your chance. It's easy to feel lost when the road ahead is unclear, but remember this, your purpose is secure in God's hand. You are not here by accident. God did not create you for aimless wandering or meaningless chance. From the beginning He knew you, your purpose, your destiny, the unique gifts He placed within you. Even when you cannot see it, your purpose is unfolding according to His perfect plan. Consider Esther, an ordinary woman placed in an extraordinary situation, facing daunting fears and challenges. Yet amid it all, God had a purpose for her, to save her people. Though she didn't initially grasp her calling, when the time came it was revealed, and she rose to meet it. Her purpose was secure, even without full understanding. Your purpose is just as secure. It does not depend on your circumstances, mistakes, or doubts. It is grounded in the fact that God has prepared good works for you to do. Ephesians 2. You may not see every step, but trust that the steps you take today lead toward fulfilling your God-given purpose. Don't let confusion or setbacks convince you your purpose is lost or delayed. God's plan is unshakable. He is orchestrating every detail behind the scenes, aligning opportunities to bring your purpose to full fruition. Trust this during seasons of uncertainty, and stand firm knowing the work you are doing, even in waiting, is part of the greater plan God has for you. You are exactly where you need to be, and nothing can undo the purpose God ordained for your life. Change, one of the most daunting words we know. The thought of stepping into something new and unfamiliar often stirs fear and hesitation. We are creatures of habit, and when life is comfortable we resist change. But hear this clearly, change is not your enemy, it is the catalyst for growth. God does not introduce change merely to disrupt. He uses it to prepare you for greater things. When God shifts your circumstances, it's not a sign of failure but a sign that something new and better is coming. You may not yet see it, but God knows exactly what He's doing. The change you fear is often the very gateway to your next level. Think again of Abraham, called to leave everything behind and go to an unknown land. He did not know the specifics but trusted God was leading him to something greater. Change was the door to the promise. When faced with change, the temptation is to cling to the familiar and sin. Yet God calls us to step into the unknown, because that's where faith grows, where His power is revealed, and where new blessings emerge. Do not fear releasing the old season. The new season will bring fresh strength, wisdom, and blessing. Change can be uncomfortable, even painful, but if you trust God's leading, you can rest in the truth that He never leads without purpose. Embrace change, step out in faith, and know God is positioning you for something greater than you can imagine. Don't fear what lies ahead. God is already there waiting for you. Many of us are caught in the lie that our present situation defines our future. We look at our struggles, setbacks, or waiting seasons, and believe this is all life will ever be. But hear me now, your present does not define your future. Challenges today don't mean you will remain stuck forever. God specializes in turning hopeless situations into new life beyond imagination. Remember Joseph, betrayed, enslaved, falsely accused, imprisoned. His present looked bleak, but he refused to accept it as final. God used those trials to prepare him for greatness. From prison to palace, Joseph became a savior of nations. His present did not define his future, God did. Today, whatever you face, remember this, your future is held by God. Your current reality may speak one message, but God's plan speaks a far greater one. You are not trapped, you are being prepared, shaped and positioned for God's purpose. Your present is merely a chapter, not the whole story. Keep moving forward because the best is yet to come. Your future shines brighter than you realize, and God is working behind the scenes to lead you into abundance, peace and purpose. Don't let today's hardships convince you otherwise. Your future is limitless with God. In a world that craves instant results and quick fixes, perseverance is often overlooked. Yet perseverance is essential to unlock what God has prepared next for you. It's easy to begin with passion when things go well, but real growth and breakthroughs come from persevering through difficulty. Breakthroughs happen when you persistently move forward, even when it seems like nothing is changing. God is not only focused on the destination, but also deeply concerned with the journey itself. Every single step you take, even when it feels as though you are standing still, is part of His perfect design. Perseverance is not merely about enduring hardships, it is about allowing God to shape and refine you through the waiting, the struggle, and the process. Consider the story of the Apostle Paul. His path was far from smooth. He faced shipwrecks, imprisonment, beatings, and ridicule. Yet through it all he persevered. Why? Because he trusted that God was at work in and through him, even in the darkest moments. Paul's steadfastness birthed a powerful ministry that spread to the farthest corners of the earth. Had he given up halfway, we would not have the letters, encouragement, and teachings that continue to inspire us today. Perseverance means continuing to press on despite difficult roads. It means refusing to surrender when promises feel distant or struggles become overwhelming. To persevere is to trust that God is not finished with you. He is still working, still molding, and still preparing you for the breakthrough ahead. So when you feel like quitting, when the burden of the journey seems too heavy, remind yourself that your persistence will bear fruit. God is working behind the scenes in ways invisible to you. Every step of faith you take positions you for the future He has promised. Keep going, keep trusting, because the reward of perseverance always outweighs the sacrifice. God honors those who refuse to give up. We live in a culture that urges us to control everything, to plan every detail, to manage every outcome. We believe that if we hold tightly to the reins of our lives, we can steer the future in the direction we desire. But here is a truth that might unsettle you. True peace comes only when you relinquish control and place your trust fully in God's guidance. The truth is, you were never meant to bear the heavy burden of control. It is exhausting, overwhelming, and ultimately leads to frustration. We may think we are in control, but life happens. Circumstances change and doors close. Look to the example of Abraham. God called him to leave behind all he knew and to follow into the unknown. Abraham had no roadmap, no guarantees, no clear plan. What he did possess was trust. He released his need to dictate the outcome and chose to follow God's lead. In surrendering control, Abraham stepped into the greatest blessings of his life. When you surrender, you open yourself to God's perfect will, His perfect timing, and His flawless plan. Control is a false comfort, a misleading sense of safety. Real security lies in God's hands. He holds your future, your path, and your destiny. When you let go and trust Him, you are saying, God, I believe you know what is best for me, even when I cannot see it. So today, release your grip on control. Surrender your plans, your fears, and your anxieties. Trust that God will lead you where you need to go. Lay down the burdens that are not yours to carry, and watch God work in ways you could never have orchestrated alone. He has everything under control. Your only task is to follow His lead. Have you ever caught yourself dreaming big, envisioning a future filled with all the best life could offer? And yet, despite our grandest ideas, God's plans for us are always greater, more magnificent, and more breathtaking than anything we could imagine. Sometimes we become so fixated on our own dreams that we forget how vast God's vision is for our lives. Here's the reality. Our dreams are limited by our experience, understanding, and imagination. But God sees the whole picture. He knows exactly what you need, what you can bear, and what will glorify His name through your life. What seems impossible to us is nothing to God. He can accomplish more in a moment than we could achieve in a lifetime of striving. Recall Joseph's story. As a young boy, his dreams were grand. He imagined his family bowing before him. Yet God's plans for Joseph were far greater than he ever envisioned. What Joseph did not know was that God was preparing him to save a nation and become second in command over Egypt.
Joseph's dreams were only the beginning of God's greater purpose for him. In the same way, your plans may seem vast to you, but God's are immeasurably greater. He has a purpose for you beyond your comprehension. The Bible declares in Ephesians 3:20, "Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us." If you could glimpse the incredible future God has prepared for you, it would astonish you. You may not understand it now, but trust that God is guiding you to places you have never dreamed, places that will draw you closer to him and fulfill his greater purpose for your life. So when you find yourself dreaming big, remember this: God is dreaming even bigger. His plans surpass anything you could ask or imagine. Trust him, surrender your plans, and know the best is yet to come. One of the deepest fears we face in life is the fear of being alone, especially when navigating unfamiliar or uncertain seasons. It is easy to feel isolated, like you are wandering through the unknown without support or direction. But hear this clearly today: you are never truly alone. God's word promises he will never leave nor forsake you. That means in every uncertain moment, in every season of waiting, and with every step you take toward the future, God is right there beside you. Consider Moses. When God called him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses was overwhelmed, doubting his ability, worthiness, and qualifications. Yet God did not abandon him to figure it out alone. God assured him, "I will be with you." Exodus. When the path seemed impossible, God was guiding Moses, providing for him, and leading him to the promised land. Just as God was with Moses, he is with you. When life challenges you and you stand at the edge of the unknown, never believe God has left you behind. He is surrounding you with his love, strength, and wisdom. God knows what lies ahead, and will equip you for every step. When you feel lonely, when the way forward is unclear, when fear whispers you are on your own, remember God is with you. You are not alone. You have a mighty God walking beside you, guiding you and never abandoning you. Trust in his presence and lean into this truth. He has already gone ahead to prepare the way, and will walk with you every step of the journey. When life feels uncertain, when you don't know what's next, and the path ahead seems unclear, it is easy to lose hope. But hope is the anchor that steadies your soul through life's storms. The greatest source of hope is found in God's promise. God's promises do not depend on your circumstances. They are not shaken by life's ups and downs. His promises are eternal, unchanging, and powerful. When you place your hope in what he has spoken, you anchor yourself in something far greater than your temporary feelings or situations. You anchor yourself in God's truth. The Bible shows countless examples of God fulfilling his promises in seemingly impossible ways. Abraham, Sarah, Noah, and David all faced times of uncertainty when the future looked unclear. Yet they clung to God's promises, knowing he is faithful to accomplish what he has declared. Consider the Israelites enslaved in Egypt, oppressed, forgotten, and hopeless. Yet God had promised deliverance. Despite their current reality, God's promise was stronger. He parted the Red Sea, led them through the wilderness, and brought them to the land he had promised. Today, you may not see the way forward. You may be in a waiting season, where the next step is unclear. But God's promises remain true. He vows never to leave you, to guide you, to provide for you, and to give you a hopeful future. No matter how tough your circumstances, remember God is faithful to fulfill his promises. Whatever you face today, hold tightly to hope. Hope in God's promises is not mere wishful thinking. It is a confident assurance that what God has spoken over your life will come to pass. He knows what lies ahead, and is faithful to bring it to fruition. Your future is secure in his hand. Keep your hope anchored in his promises, because the best is yet to come. Pause now. Reflect on where you stand in life today. Maybe you face uncertainty, stand at a crossroads, or wait patiently in a season of pause. It is easy to feel overwhelmed, as if you walk blindly into an unknown future. But here is a truth that will change your perspective. God knows exactly what is next for you. You may not have all the answers, and that's okay. You have something better, a God who sees the end from the beginning, whose plans surpass your own, and who walks with you, guiding and preparing you for what lies ahead. When life feels uncertain, remember this: God is working behind the scenes. You are not alone in the unknown. You are not left to figure it all out by yourself. His timing is perfect, his plans flawless, and his love unshakable. Every challenge you face, every setback, every waiting season is not a sign that God has forgotten you. Rather, it is proof that He is preparing you for something great. He is refining you, strengthening your faith, and positioning you for blessings ahead. You may not see it yet, but God is working in ways you cannot yet understand. So let go of fear, let go of doubt. Trust that God's promises are true. You are on a journey. Though you may not know every step ahead, rest assured God does. His plans for you are grand, filled with purpose, peace, and a future brighter than you can imagine. In conclusion, no matter where you find yourself today, trust that your tomorrow is held securely in God's hand. He knows what lies ahead, and when you put your trust in Him, He will lead you to places beyond your wildest dreams. Keep faith, keep hope, know that your future is safe in His hand.